Okay, hi, welcome to your reading. If you are watching this right now, it is because you were looking for some clarity about your relationship to abundance, essentially. You were looking at this from the lens of both a romantic sense and a financial sense. And before I even pull any cards, I just want to say I love this question. I love this intent and this energy with which you are seeking this clarity. I think it's so telling that you've already made this connection within yourself between romance and finances, and the ways that love can amplify all the different parts of our life. When we seek romance, when we seek beauty and connection, that ripples outwards. And I love that you were seeking some clarity on how to deepen your relationship with this abundant, loving energy. So let's go ahead and pull some tarot cards. We're going to check out the vibe right now. We're going to see what came before that, what sort of background with this you're working with, and what may be in store for your near future. All right, let's check out what's currently at play for you in this relationship that you're having to love and abundance. So immediately what we've got is the Page of Pentacles. This is your current energy in your relationship to abundance. So this card is definitely speaking to some patience that you've been having with regards to this subject. You've been making sure to sort of give this some real thought and be very thoughtful in your approach to this, which is a very wholesome energy to bring. It does take some intentional decision making to foster the sort of relationship that you would like, but this card is saying that you are well on your way there already. You are approaching this relationship with the appropriate consideration, the consideration that it deserves, and that will for sure serve you well. This is speaking to a new level of understanding that you are gaining with regards to both romance and material wealth. This is what the Suit of Pentacles is all about. Material wealth for sure, but wealth in many forms, abundance in many forms, which, as you've already made the connection, material wealth is not necessarily compartmentalized within our lives. There is overlap. When you're attuned to a certain frequency of abundance in one area of your life, it attunes you as well to abundant vibrations in other areas. So let's take a peek. I was going to pull a card for your past in regards to this relationship to abundance and love, and this card immediately jumped out of the deck, the Five of Swords. So what this immediately tells me about the past energy that you may have had, you may have been distracted by your sort of beliefs around what it should look like or what it would mean for you in your life, because you can see in the art here, he is deep in thought, which is, very similar to the present vibe, but in the past it may have been less productive. It may have been more of a distraction, more of an escape. It may have just been less helpful in the past, the way that you were sort of thinking or structuring your approach to this in your mind. So, because you can see he's really deep in thought here about this. Meanwhile, all his swords are completely on the ground, and a sword is sort of useless if it's on the ground, you know what I mean? It is right there available for him to pick up and use, but he's too distracted, he's too in his head about it. That's very interesting. So to go from this past energy to now evolving into this much more focused, more precise way of thinking, a more productive way of thinking. I love that evolution for you. So now let's find out what is the future on this path, this trajectory that you're on. again, another card really wanted to come out for you. And this is so interesting to me, okay? Because what you got in the future position with regards to your relationship to abundance and love is death in reverse. So what this is telling me is that you are in the midst of a profound internal transformation with regards to your approach in this endeavor, in any endeavors as far as career, as far as your material wealth, as far as your emotional wealth. You are in for a very significant internal shift with death in reverse. So what is the opposite of death? You know, it's birth, it's resurrection. That is a very, very positive story that I'm seeing here. The inner work that you've been doing in regards to taking accountability for the ways that you may have dropped the ball in the past, and not letting that stop you, not letting that discourage you. The ways in the past that you may have been distracted by a more rigid way of thinking, you've not let that stop you. You've not let that hold you back from continuing to try. Also, in the Five of Swords, he's sitting on the ground and thinking about this. In the Page of Pentacles, he's found this sort of rocky outcropping. He's gotten a higher vision. He's gotten a higher vantage point to see from. He's changed his perspective, and in the future, that's going to continue to lead you down this path of a great inner shift in the way that you see yourself as well. Because when we are examining our relationship to abundance, it does involve a lot of finding the spots where you maybe have allowed yourself to be distracted, and making a commitment to yourself that whatever was distracting you in the past, whatever sort of maybe logic traps that you got stuck in, maybe there was a tendency to get stuck in these loops of, well, if X then Y, right? But that's not always how relationships or wealth abundance work. Sometimes you have to sort of find the ways around it. Whatever is blocking you here, you've started to be able to find ways around it, find new ways of thinking that let you go around whatever edges you couldn't get past before. And that's leading you to this deep inner transformation that will 100% open you up to a greater level of abundance than you could potentially have even ever dreamed of when you were at this point in your life. That's really amazing. Wow. And then this card did come out reversed, but you can see also that there is this very interesting evolution here of the way that you've been thinking about things. Just in the art, it's reflected there. Wow, that's really incredible. Wow, Spirit, thank you. Since we are seeking clarity on things like emotions and relationships and the flow of abundance in our lives, I did pull out the Healing Waters deck. This was a topic that we went over recently in my community coven. My very good friend taught an amazing class about money magic and how there is, of course, the connection to material wealth between the suit of Pentacles, which is the earth suit. This is connected to the earth element, which is, of course, material wealth, right? But one thing that is often overlooked when we are speaking or thinking about wealth and abundance is how connected it is actually to water as well. So if you think about it, there are all of these words that we associate with money that are actually very watery in nature. We call it currency. We call it income streams. There's frozen assets. A bank is like a riverbank. It controls the flow of money. In various cultures, there's all these deities and spirits that are connected to water and wealth. Also, the element of water is very much connected to relationships and emotions. And so I thought this would be a perfect deck. Okay, wow. So 2 cards wanted to come out for you here. The first one was Birth Mysteries. What are you being called to create? So right off the bat, the way to attune yourself, there's a widely accepted rule in manifestation that in order to manifest something in your life, you have to first attune to that energy before you have it necessarily. It's so much more attractive to whatever it is that you are trying to call into your life. If your energy is already attuned to that vibration, it makes it so much easier, so much more effortless for whatever it is that you're manifesting to enter your life, because you've already made space for it in your life. So when you think about this card, Birth Mysteries, what are you being called to create? I'm getting the sense that you're being called to create whatever it is that, whatever kind of abundance, whether it's material or emotional, whatever kind of abundance you're trying to call into your life, start acting like you already have it. Go about your day as if you already have it. Let yourself be awash in the feeling of already having whatever it is that you want. Live in that emotion. Let it spread throughout your body. Let yourself go about your day feeling so grateful for the thing that you know is on its way to you, because you've made space for it in your life. You've already called it in. You've put your order into the universe, and you have been putting yourself through this process of building a vessel for this water to flow into. It is very interesting to me that you got both the Death card and Birth Mysteries. This definitely speaks to a transformation and a rebirth of your internal state, because this did come out in the reverse position. The way that I like to read reversals for the most part is that it is happening on a more internal level than on an outward level. This is speaking to a rebirth, a transformation within yourself in your approach to this relationship that you have to love and abundance. Now, the other card that came out from this deck was the Healing Lagoon. Recover, rejuvenate. It is safe to rest. Paradoxically, sometimes when we are in the midst of a lot of transformation and healing and all of that, it does become very important to rest. You are well on your way here, okay? But I'm seeing that there is more time to be taken for yourself, to allow yourself to melt into the safety of whatever it is that you are calling into your life. You don't need to search for it. You just need to realize that you already are worthy of it. Okay? Yes, continue to grow, continue to do the internal work that you need to be doing to have the room for what it is that you are calling in. Healing is not your whole entire purpose, okay? You are worthy. Time to heal. It's safe to stop, okay? So in the midst of all of this transformation, all of this thinking and all of this restructuring of the way that you approach your relationship to abundance, in the midst of all of that, please take time to rest and to appreciate yourself for how far you've come already. There's a lot to be said for the amount of energy that it takes to go on this sort of internal journey. It does take a lot out of you, okay? So in my work as a yoga teacher, sometimes the most challenging poses that I teach are literally Sukhasana, easy pose, where you are just sitting in an easy posture. Okay, that one can be very difficult for a lot of people, or shavasana, which is literally corpse pose. You are doing nothing but laying on the ground. Sometimes that one can genuinely be very difficult for a lot of people, and I'm so compassionate towards that. I'm so understanding of how foreign that can feel in the sort of current climate of sort of hustle culture and really wanting to get things done all the time. And I know that you've been doing a lot of very, very important work, and thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for doing that. You are doing a service to humanity. In the midst of all of that, please take care of yourself, okay? Please, please, please take care of yourself. Invest in your creative hobbies as well. Invest in your peace and make sure that you are building an inner sanctuary within yourself that is completely impervious to anything else that goes on, any sort of challenges that you may face along the way, any sort of ways that your world might get a little bit rocked during this whole process of transformation. Amidst all of that, please remember to take care of yourself and to rest and recover. Rest and recovery is just as important as work. Literally, you have to have both. You have to have both work and rest. I use this analogy quite often, but it's like when we're going to the gym and we're training our muscles, we make these micro tears, right? And we get sore, and we have to let our muscles rest and recover from that. We have to nourish ourselves, and in doing so, we invite in more abundance, because what is nourishing loves to be nourished back, right? So making a habit of nourishing the things that nourish you, that is what calls in abundance. That is what calls in a safe and nurturing and abundant type of love. That is the vibration that abundance is attracted to. So nourish yourself, nourish what nourishes you. I hope that was helpful for you. Please let me know, and thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.